Greetings everyone, this is LIGHTSTAR and I'm very thrilled to come on here today because I've got an episode that is going to be very empowering for all of you. This is very timely as well, and this is because I've finished my newest creation called Karmic Timeweaver. And it is very, very potent. And I'm also going to do a light language activation that is going to accompany this image. So it'll be a nice visual and light language as well, all wrapped up into one. So I know you guys are going to really like this one, especially those of you guys that are working with timelines and all sorts of good stuff like that. So stay tuned and let's get right to it. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm back once again. This is LIGHTSTAR and we are here for another exciting episode. So for those of you that are new and would like to subscribe to the channel here, I call it just joining the tribe or joining the community. YouTube calls it subscribe. Or if you're watching it on some of my other platforms that I do have, which is on BitChute or Brighteon, and all of those links are below. Please join our little tribe here. I bring lots of good content on all types of things, oracle readings, channeling, consciousness, energies, light language, all sorts of good stuff. So go ahead and join the tribe, and you can also hit that notifications bell on YouTube so that you make sure you're notified of my new videos coming out. And also, if you would like to donate to my platforms and my work and all that good stuff that I'm bringing here, I have a donation platform on patreon.com. Also, you can find me there. Again, all the links are below. I really appreciate those of you guys donating to keep the content going. I so appreciate all of you who have donated already, who continue to support this channel, and I love you guys so much. And I'm so grateful to just have the love and support. And I also want to just give a shout out to those who would like to upgrade their own channels and expand, who have YouTube channels or just want to branch out and don't have the time to do it. I always like to recommend my awesome helper and assistant to take all of my video content and upload it to other platforms so I don't have to do that part. And it's Matthew Raymer with Anomalist Design. He does all kinds of great work helping people in website design, consulting, works with YouTube people here, YouTube creators, to help them, and also just re-platforming assistance for those of you who get knocked off the platform and need to go on a different platform. He's really helpful in that way, and that's how he's helped me. And so I highly recommend that you go check out his website, Anomalist Design, also Content Safe. I believe it's .co. I'll leave the links below. And please go check it out. If you need assistance, highly recommend. Super, just really there for you. And it's really a great service that he provides right now, especially. I also just want to implore all of you guys that would like to go check out my website, go do so at lightstarcreations.com, where you'll find all of my art, all of my sessions, all of my music, and my music activation, my 444 music activation. And I will be coming out with some new stuff as well, and my oracle deck. So go check all that stuff out as well. So let's get right into the content that I want to talk about today, which is a share of my newest image, one of my newest images that I've created, and also a light language activation. Now, this, I will have to say, this is exciting because this is the final image that is going to be in my next Oracle deck. All of my images that you have seen and already that are not in the first deck are going into the second deck. And this one is the last in this entire series. So as many of you guys know, I'm working on the second Oracle deck, and is a deadline that I have for all the materials, everything to kind of be done to turn in at the end of this year. And then it won't be probably another year until you actually get it in your hot little hands. But it is going to be, this is a big project that I've been doing. And this one is the final image in this set. And I'm really excited about this because this image that I'm going to create, that I'm going to bring forth here, is about a very important topic right now in our world. So I'm just going to pop it up on screen, okay? The image is called Karmic Timeweaver, and it is super powerful. That's all I can say. Very powerful and timely. Quote, that was pun intended there, timely. So it's Karmic Timeweaver. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of stuff going on, but it's like we're going into a portal, okay? And this image is very potent in its expression to share a little bit about what time is and karma and all this stuff in a way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the description card about it so that you guys can get just a very good idea about what this image has, the overall meaning. And so I'm just going to read that. My printer ran out of ink before I did this, so I actually have it popped up on screen. So I'm looking over there because I'm reading it on the screen, okay? So the essence of this card is time is a paradox. Reality does exist in the now moment. However, events can appear to occur in a linear timeline. To grasp the concept of time is to experience consciousness in its most expanded state as a perception of the unlimited soul and an expression of space itself. Multiple timelines exist concurrently, which breathes life into concepts of individual choice, cause, and effect. One may not consciously be aware of each and every decision made in all the various timelines, but when they intersect as a mighty matrix, a web of consciousness is created, bridged together in an ever united grid of quantum energetic exchange. Whoa, that's my little interjection there. And I'm going to read the Oracle reading because this is meant for the Oracle. So if you were to pick that card, for the most part, that's what I'm talking about here. The Karmic Timeweaver brings an abundance of change. Decisions will need to be made swiftly. This may involve a geographical move, relationship adjustment, health decisions, spiritual changes, or a career shift. Although there are no right or wrong outcomes, it will be imperative that you make choices in alignment with your soul, as your decisions may have karmic impacts for others in your past, present, and future timelines. So evaluate carefully. The Timeweaver connects you with otherworldly realms and karmic ties, which can bring fresh insights into your own Akashic records. Greet upcoming transitions with excitement. They will help you settle unresolved karmic entanglements. Significant opportunities may emerge that will forever alter your life. You may be faced with making an unexpected decision that may not seem to make any logical sense. It's okay. Trust yourself to align with the best decision for the higher good of all. And then lastly, I put some expanded realignments to help you with this. These are things you can work on and use. Past life regression, life transitions coaching, quantum healing, mullein leaf smudging, patchouli incense, colors of emerald and green and gold, holy basil and astragalus herbs, nutmeg and spearmint essential oils, aspen and walnut flower essences, crystals of chrysocolla, malachite, and celestial quartz. Now, so that's pretty potent information there. I write these things to try to be inclusive as to what the meaning of the image itself is bringing. But then also, obviously, as my deck is going to be, and the second one is going to be no different, that when you're using these for readings, you want to use your own intuition. But I will say there's a lot of codes embedded in here that do help to work with timeline energies and karmic timelines, quantum entanglement, all this stuff. So I really want to share a little bit just about this because as you can see, it's sort of like this being is coming through the timeline, breaking through the portal, and there's all sorts of like time codes around him. And if you'll notice, there's also a woman that's above with a hourglass, okay? Because that obviously symbolizes time, but we want to say, you know, time is of the essence, but also we are working in a shift right now in our world. So this is why it's so timely as far as when it's coming out, because I feel that there's a lot of different shifts happening right now with our timelines. And there's some things that came out. I'm going to be doing my yearly channeling that is going to come out probably in November for the end of the year for the for 2021. Usually comes out around October, November, I think it is. And it's going to be for the Sedona Journal of Emergence. But I have to do that ahead of time, so I already kind of done the channeling. So there's some things like sort of a sneak peek, I suppose. But it does have to do with some of the things that Hilarion said when I was doing the channeling that came forth about timelines, and that's going to be a big issue that, I don't want to say issue, but a shift that has already happened. And so if we look at, I'm not going to read the whole channeling here, you'll have to wait for that, but the little bits and pieces of it have to do with this image that I'm talking about now, because it has to do with timelines. And so what I want to say, what I feel has been really happening like this whole year, especially with everything that's been going on in the world with the, you know what, I don't even know if I can say it, where I can say it, where I can't say it. So I'm just saying that you know what, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But the main thing that has happened this year that has caused everybody's life to go into complete and utter chaos. So I feel too that this has had to do with some timeline shifts, and there's been some things that have moved or been knocked out of place. Many of you guys will remember back in 2012 when we all felt like, wow, you know, the world's going to end, or something's going to end, or something's going to shift, or whatever's going to happen. And some of us, I know I was, but there was other people too that I've talked with, that towards the end of that year, or in that year, I was having a lot of dreams of really like strange things that were happening to the planet, either from things blowing up to things coming down from the sky, and all sorts of chaos that was happening. It was literally like, you know, this kind of apocalyptic events. But I do feel that we shifted timeline, or I want to say jump timelines. And so that's why, because mine I stopped having those after 2012. So as we moved into, you know, that year in 2013, I didn't have those anymore. And I do feel like that we shifted timeline in that time frame. So as we jump these different timelines, and I know that it may be a little bit difficult to understand this, because I always say to my clients, and I feel this, is that time is happening all at the same time. Past, present, and futures all happening at once. So how can we sit with that? How do we understand that? That's kind of a big, like, whoa. I mean, we say it and we're like, oh yeah, and you're like, yeah, but do you really understand what that has to do with the times, and how it interacts with you, and how you deal with all that stuff as well? Because most of us aren't really working in those timelines all the time. I mean, I'm talking about the majority of the planet. Some of us understand some of these timelines and can understand when we either lose track of time, or we feel like we just jumped a timeline, or we're in a different timeline. So you know, this is kind of normal to some of the more UFO communities, to some of the spiritual, metaphysical, starseed communities. We all understand some of this stuff a little bit better, and I'm not putting anybody else down who doesn't understand it. I'm just saying it's very complicated, even for anyone to get. So, but we do want to realize that there has been a timeline shift in this year. And so because of that, it sort of made it into a timeline where wasn't so positive of outcomes, I would say, but we can change that as well. We have the ability to change timelines. And so many of us don't really understand that. And that's what this image is really for also, is to help those of you working with timelines, working with time shifts, and also some of the time lords out there who you know I'm talking about. Then some of you guys that work with these energies on a regular basis to help to smooth out timelines and to reestablish some sort of normalcy, back to balance and harmony if something goes awry, okay? And that's what I feel happened this year. And so that's why we're seeing so many things. But I also feel one point to make is that I'm also seeing that we have this sort of speeding up an intensity of time and then this slowing down of time. And so it's, you know, it's this push-pull where sometimes we just feel like boom, 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 boom. Just everything just sort of happens all in this, even in the world, even if you're looking on the news, which, you know, we don't really like to watch the news, but if you are watching the news and you catch, like, there's this succession of things happening where the timeline just goes, like, speeds up. And then there's times where it just seems like it just slows all the way down. And I feel like there's this kind of push-pull energy with timelines, or I want to almost say it's like taffy, you know, where you're like stretching it and then letting it go, expand. It stretches and expands, stretches and expands. And so there's this a little off balance, obviously, because of this push-pull energy. But so that's kind of what I feel is really happening with the time. It's being really manipulated here. I mean, that's just what I feel. And I do feel that, again, you have the power within your own sovereignty and in your own self to utilize that power to smooth out your own life, because really, let's face it, we're supposed to be working on our own lives first, because get our own lives back in order. But at the same time, we can also help humanity as a whole to get through this difficult and challenging year. All of us will remember this year, you know, and some of us will remember this year as literally just wanting to crumple it up and throw it in the trash, as like, wow, this year. But to be honest, there's some very important nuggets of truth that have been seemingly come out. Even if it was an insidious change of the timeline, it actually came out and brought something to the surface that was really needed to be looked at. So some of that stuff I'm going to be explaining a little bit more, or we're going to be talking about a little bit more into, like the channeling that's going to be coming out in a couple of months for 2021 as we move into that new territory. So, but for this year, we're in it, and it feels like, I feel that one of the ways for us to get through this kind of timeline, what we're on right now, the trajectory, is to really, really, and I mean really, remember who you are. You are source light energy with codes. You are made up of symbols. You are made of codes, I should say, not symbols, but you're made up of a code matrix, okay? You are the creator. We are all creators. And what we choose to co-create on this planet does have to do with what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what we're experiencing, and what we're expressing out to the world and in our own worlds. So it's so important, almost like remember who you are, the sun, the solar, that energy that within you, and to be fully present, be in the moment. You can't be fearful and freaked out and confused and scared and everything if you are truly in the moment. Okay, it brings us back to the now time. the now time, the present moment. Being in that moment, you are not infused with any of these other heavy, roller coaster ride type of emotions. But when you are present, you are able to think clearly. You are able to make decisions. You are able to look at your life and what's going on in spite of all of the chaos and everything outside of you, to show it the proper decisions that you need to make for yourself in your life, taking care of your families and taking care of what you need to take care of, okay? So getting in life back in order. So that's what I just feel is just to really embrace the power of you, the power of the truth of who you are, not the personality self, not this world to get all wrapped up in it, okay? I hope I didn't reiterate too much on that, but it's really important. I don't mean to harp on it, but it is very important. This time period, really more than any other time, is so crucial for us to gain control of our own power centers. That's what's been coming up, okay? I know for me, I'm just going to share a little thing that came up, which is kind of cool, but I think it was like 2 weeks ago from the time I was filming this anyway, I kept seeing images of Wonder Woman, the movie, Wonder Woman, but it just kept coming up everywhere. Something would pop up on my phone. And I'd seen that movie, when it came out, like way long years ago or so. And yet it just kept coming into my presence. I'm like, what is going on? Why do I keep seeing this? And it just prompted me to watch the movie again. Like there was something I needed to watch. There was something I needed in that movie again. So obviously my guides and intuition and higher self was like literally pointing at me. I mean, it was like we get these little value pack coupons in the mail, and it was literally, had another instance where I was getting this prompt for Wonder Woman, and then all of a sudden I turn around and look at the value pack and it has Wonder Woman on the front of it. So I was like, okay. I think that happened after I watched the movie too. So this kept coming up, and I was wondering why. Well, the night after it was a night or two after I watched the movie again, we watched it here and it was just awesome because it's an awesome movie. But it prompted a dream that I want to share with you guys because I think it was so powerful. And I think it was kind of in the sign of the times of where we're at today. So that's why I wanted to share it as well. So in this dream, I was with a bunch of people, okay, but I was actually speaking light language in my dream. And I was speaking the language, and I was kind of like just sharing and speaking. And I was actually then shifting to speak to one individual, and I was doing an activation on this person, this being. And afterwards, there was a bunch of people gathered, and this one man came up to me, and he looked like he had, I don't know if he had like a priest type of, clothing on, or if it was like a monk, or I don't know what it was, but it was something religious order of some kind. And he was questioning me about what I was doing. And he was asking me, why are you doing this? What are you doing? And I was explaining, and then he's like, that you're not doing, that you're doing harm or something, or don't you? And he started to project all of this negative stuff in my direction. And, I knew at that very moment in the dream, it's funny how you know things in your dream. Like I was really there. I mean, I was sleeping in the dream, but I felt like I was awake in the dream in some way. And I knew that there was significance to what he was saying as far as like trying to sway me off path to get me to not do that, or, to just, that's not right, or, that kind of thing. And so what I proceeded to do was I immediately just started to get this energy welling up in my heart. And it was like this energy of love, literally, that poured through my heart and started to beam out. And I started to express myself in the dream I felt like this being had turned into kind of a demon, really, because what do? And, you know, come in pretenses and then try to make you feel bad about what you're doing and try to knock you off path. And I get a lot of testing in my dreams, so I knew this is kind of like another one of these tests. And so I came out there in this dream, and I was just this energy of love just pervaded and started to grow. And as I spoke very, very clearly and very much in my power. And I wasn't yelling at him or telling him, no, you don't know what you're talking about or any of that. It was just this like beaming love energy that was understanding of where this person was at and why they were asking, you know, these questions and pointing fingers and thinking I was doing wrong. And I was just speaking my truth about what it was and what I was doing, and knowing that I understand if you don't, you know, really get this, but this is where I'm coming from, straight from creator energy, source, high frequencies coming in to assist. And that's where I am coming from, and that's what I'm all about. And that's what I put forth. And I felt so much love pouring out that this person or demon was almost like trying to speak up, but couldn't speak up. He was like, what? Oh, but, and he couldn't say anything else to the contrary. And so it emulated, I woke up, and I actually woke up in the dream with this heart opening, and I was actually tearing up because I was just feeling like, wow. So what I'm getting at here, because I feel like the Wonder Woman was pushing me to have this remembrance of empowerment, because if you watch that movie, you know that, you know, she feels a little bit self-conscious about herself as well as what she's doing and what she's really all about. But then once she realizes the power that she actually has and just emulates that, and just, I'm not going to give it away if you haven't seen the movie, but go see it if you haven't. But I guess there was something in it for us all, in terms of that movie really emulates our own power, that we have the power to embrace ourselves for who we truly are, and not be meek and just not speak up and sit in the corner. You know, it's just not what we're here for. So I know that was like a little lengthy, but it was really important for me to share that, because I felt like it was not just for me, but also for everybody. And what's going on right now is that we feel disempowered, and we feel like we're, you know, not as great as we are because of the circumstances. And I'm just wanting to say, with this image, with the, you know, the timeline shift and everything, is just to remember who you are at the core, no matter what is going on around you. Okay. So, but I feel like this is timely. See, I've used a lot of that terminology in this, which is kind of funny. So, timely here. So I'm just going to do, so I think I'm going to do a little bit of an activation here for you guys, where I just put forth some of this empowerment energy, because that's what's coming forth. It's like that sunlight. It's coming up a lot. It's coming up a lot recently in my client stuff too, is this empowerment of the sun. But generally speaking, it's just going to be for empowering you. Okay, so for empowering the spirit of you. And so I'm just going to bring forth that energy right now, and we'll see what comes. Okay, so for most of you guys know, but if you don't, and I do light language, put your mind off to the side. Don't try to figure it out with your mind. But if you get translations or interpretations that come from what I'm saying, wonderful. Most of the time, I just want everybody just to kind of be in it, feel it, and get the activation, however it's coming for you. Okay, so here we go. Kurashtar hatasnana karmashek sa sukur akal mahalashek mal ametesta vira shokura katara manatarshen surukura drusum akavrashendi ikra bakhala shokur narhala kala halashek usun alamashilak usundarashila hunsukushia Hukunkir Amahata Okuwi Shimakuhosho Guya Samahata. Sensuara harate sokohokola. Mendala shira taramakala. Urhalakesh vekrash. Shorama hakale. Sul haleme shukurak. Sokola elesakalesh. Sokolok roshumakale enkir. Dastar takrul mel aleshur kalesh. Kula la shik el kal aknar. Hul ala kale ishu akakia sor. Sokular kur sur akale shur kale kesambaka. Dekor shimakali kia. Sokora kal mahalashen. Ustravese Mariakta Vencerias Haranesh Suvia Varashtan Maratash Usreas Varantek Samarat Ustaren Marateni Varikmar Hararam Barieshte Kariast Nakaram Harim Sura Usta Veri Uran Tararash Ustrasan Homaratek Viran Vestia Shura Marates Mihatarak Shira Narates Beriarantara Ustaran Taratek Shirak Marantea Varastaya Shosoramatik Siraratan Daram Sararan Bentarea Shan Vedeasto Karandea Karayam. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe in empowerment codes into this timeline right here and right now to empower you and to empower us all to remember that we have this internal guidance within us that is connected to Source, to God directly, whatever it is that you believe in, the highest power, in that creator energies. Knowing that God directly, the creator, is the one that is living inside of all of us. We have complete sovereignty within us no matter what is going on outside of us. Coming back to center and coming back to that energy of Source, remembering to ground ourselves here on the planet and bring our higher frequencies and our codes here to the planet to help humanity and to resolve some of the timeline inclusions that have taken off into a darker direction, but bringing them back to center and balance and harmony. As a collective, we have this infused power that even enhances it greater and greater when we are collectively united, not divided. And so this is what I want to implore today. I hope this helps you guys to remember who you are and to know that these timeline shifts are occurring, and to just be that beacon of light as much as you possibly can. That's really important. So I want to just say I love you guys. If you guys would like to check out my website at lightstarcreations.com, I have, again, all of my Oracle deck. You can purchase my website. I mean, yeah, you can purchase my website. No, you can't purchase my website. My Oracle deck, I've got my all of my artwork in many different forms. I've got my private sessions and all of my custom artwork, as well as my music activation And be on the lookout because I will be having some new stuff coming out in that direction very soon. But again, keep in mind, I'm just trying to finish this Oracle deck to get all the elements in and writing the book and everything like that and getting that all together by the end of this year. So in the midst of all that, I'll be working on some music as well. So anyways, I am so grateful for you guys. You guys are awesome. If anyone would like to purchase my stuff, please go onto my website and you can just check it out. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you would like to donate to this channel and you really have gotten some benefit from what I've provided here, I like to provide a lot of content for you guys and activation and all sorts of good stuff coming through. And it takes me a lot of time to do all this filming and editing, and you would not even believe, for those of you guys who don't know, it's very time consuming. But so I really appreciate any kind of donation that you want to send through my Patreon website at on my Patreon, which is, the links are all down below. And again, you can check out everything I have to offer on, and these also come up on my Brighteon and BitChute pages as well, so you can watch them there. Sometimes there's a little delay before those go live, so it may be a day or so later than when it comes up on YouTube, but they will be up there as well. So again, I love you guys. I send you lots of huge hugs of light, as I like to say, and a huge energy ball of solar energy that can assist you guys in empowering yourselves even greater and greater. So with that, I will sign off and we'll see you next time. Lots of love from the Angelics, Galactics, and the Elementals. Bye now.